myself the name.
Yes, you did. Turkey Tom.
Call me coffee time, not turkey
No,
time.
Turkey time, be quiet.
Turkey Tom.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god. So welcome back. We just got done with our Donald Trump segment, and we have a new guest. One of our guests from last time has not returned, mainly because he's not as informed as our newest guest. So he's gonna go ahead and sit out for one of our other less political topics, perhaps esports or something similar. But our current topic, as we mentioned in the last video, is going to be Ben Carson. And Ben Carson is very relevant, especially in the media recently. They've been talking about him a lot, especially about him receiving a scholarship to a specific college and many other things that he said. And I would like to go ahead and introduce our new guest, Chapman Evans. Go ahead and say hi, Chapman. Introduce yourself and tell them who you are.
Hi, Chapman. Introduce yourself. I guess I'd consider myself a conservative, along with Cody. Not necessarily a libertarian, but I'd say a Trump supporter.
Hard Trump supporters. Alright, well, let's go ahead and start with our first topic. So our first policy that Ben Carson said is quote unquote, let the economy work the way it's supposed to. Now, what do we think about that?
Let the economy work the way it's supposed to.
It's pretty vague.
I mean, it's pretty vague. I don't really know, like, what I'm supposed to say about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
like, it's just a state. I mean, we need context with that kind of quote. You can't just pluck a quote out like that and then talk about it. We need some sort of context. Like, what's the context?
That's what he's supposed to do, though. He's a politician. He's supposed to make it
Oh,
vague,
it's the economy. Oh, thanks, Cody. I didn't realize.
That's how he believes it should be run.
See, that's his thing, though.
That's vague. Like, there had to be some context that he said that in besides it's about the economy. It's how he thinks it should run. Was there literally no context that you could pluck out?
That's all he said when he was asked about the economy. He said, let the economy work the way it's supposed to. That's exactly what he said.
Well, I guess, I mean, that does seem to point towards a hands-off approach, which philosophically, I agree with a hands-off approach. However, I do believe the government does need to intervene, only when it's needed, and rarely. You know, I believe in rare government intervention.
I think, like, the government should intervene in the economy when it's, like you said, really kind of most needed. If it's just kind of intertwining in our daily affairs...
Like recession, Great Depression kind of things.
Yeah, like, we would probably need it there, or...
I don't know about that. I mean, if you look at what FDR did whenever we had a Great Depression, I mean,
like, you have to show me some evidence that what FDR did was a bad thing.
Alright. So first off, he promoted socialism, which set us down that whole big downhill path of regulating business, causing businesses to go out, all the stuff.
Yes, but he did this during the Great Depression, and yes, it did lead to something. Yeah, I'm talking about in the context of the Great Depression, what was bad about what FDR did.
I mean, the New Deal...
He didn't do anything. He just put us in debt. He literally did nothing. All he did was give moral support. That's all he did, and nothing else.
Are you sure? Are you sure those social programs didn't do anything other than promote moral support? I don't know. An extra few bucks in my pocket does a little more than give moral support.
In the long run, it didn't matter.
In the long run, sure, but we're talking about the Great Depression. Great Depression didn't last for 20 years.
All the prices went back up. All the prices went back up when they did that.
In fact, these social programs were used just to maintain, just to try to help out during the Great Depression, help families get by.
But then what brought us out of the Great Depression? Still an answer to that.
I'd say
what brought World War II. World War II brought us out of the Great Depression.
World War II brought us out.
What brought us out?
Capitalism brought us out.
Capitalism brought us out.
Capitalism brought us out.
It's a little vague.
Capitalism brought us out. All right.
Who created jobs?
We had a
Who created
capitalistic
jobs?
system at the time. Congratulations.
No,
Capitalism is
we
the
were going
soul.
towards socialism. We were going towards socialism.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were going towards. Those were socialistic programs, but the way the economy worked at the time of the Great Depression wasn't socialism by any means. It was a mixed economy.
No, but what brought us out was capitalism. That's what brought us out of the Great Depression. That's why hands off is good. See,
World
it
War
brought back all the
II
jobs,
predominantly
all the
brought us out of
businesses
the
were
Great
back.
Depression.
We were producing more than we ever had before. What's not good about that?
Capitalism helped, but it was the war that brought us out of the main thing.
The war was what gave us production. The
'Cause we
reason
had
why
to
we
start
needed the
pumping out
social
machines
the
and start
reason
making
why
jobs
we
again.
needed the social programs at the time of the Great Depression is because the economy was at a halt. And World War II,
The social programs didn't do anything. They just put the country in debt and made people feel like they had more money, but they actually didn't.
what? The social programs
You know,
allowed
inflation
people
went
to
up
not
for them?
starve as much as they were.
No,
It was
they didn't
a
do
temporary
inflation.
solution. There was nothing wrong with it at the time of the
No, there
Great
was a
Depression.
whole lot wrong with it.
There was nothing he could do to fix it while he was president. It was an
No,
option.
If we would have went back to capitalism instead of promoting socialistic programs, it would have ended a whole lot quicker.
That is also
Because
true.
again, what brought us out? Capitalism. We would have just stuck with that. It would've been-
Brought us out. Yes, we had a capitalistic system, and we still had those social programs in play in that capitalistic system.
It wasn't necessarily part of it did have to do with the capitalist system, but it wasn't necessarily just that on its own.
It was World War II that allowed the capitalist system to save us. Without World War
Dominantly,
II,
yes,
the capitalist
that is
system
true.
would have done nothing for us.
No, that isn't true. It would have done stuff for us, just not as much or at the same rate of progress that the
Oh
World War II.
yeah. Obviously, when I say nothing, I mean
Alright.
close to
We
little.
can save this for another topic. We need to move on to his next quote. Alright.
Alright,
His next
alright.
statement is, high corporate tax rate causes high national debt, which means taxing big industries is going to create more debt. Which means he's vouching
Well,
for
I mean-
taxes.
I mean, if you look at our economy right now, it certainly makes sense, especially since Obama went ahead and doubled the debt. But you gotta remember, Bush doubled our debt too.
And Obama just doubled it again.
Well,
And
no, he
Obama
doubled
it
more than
again.
what
It
Bush
may
did,
be
though.
that high tax rates encourages big spending. That may be what he's going after. But I can't really see how a high tax rate can directly cause a high debt.
It's a mixture of things. It's a mixture of regulation and taxes.
That's another one of those vague things.
Well, that's what a lot of these
Yeah.
quotes are going to be, though, because it's not.
I mean,
it's still
Ben
early on in
Carson's
the
very
election.
vague. You know, that's you don't.
It's not just
I mean,
Ben
he
Carson,
gives
it's all
partial. I mean,
politics
he
in
gives
itself,
partial
especially this
answers.
early on
You
in the
know, and
race.
he says he's not a politician, but he acts just like a politician.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, once it gets further
that's what
once
bothers
it
me
progresses-
about people's rally behind Trump and Ben
We could
Carson.
be
They say,
doing almost
"Oh,
any
he's
Republican
not a
candidate,
politician,"
and it's gonna be
but
the
they're
same thing.
acting exactly like a
Yeah,
politician.
that's the thing.
I mean, if we talked about this maybe 6 months down the road, it could be a lot different. They'll probably start expanding on their points because right now they want to say something that'll get a lot of people saying, "Yeah, I agree with that."
Without providing the details.
Yeah, without providing details. If they
details that
provide
people
details,
have
that'll start to
conflict
split up the votes.
How are you? I mean, we have this with Trump. How are you gonna build? How is Mexico gonna build the wall?
Hey,
I
hey,
like
hey,
the
hey.
How are
Mexicans.
we
This
gonna
is,
build
this,
a
is
wall?
for, this is for a different. That's for a different.
I know. I'm just using him
Alright,
as an
we're
example.
moving on. Alright, so this is another thing. Equip police with body cameras to avoid abusiveness.
That's not.
I support that.
I mean, I support that too, but there's always ways around it. They could just take it.
My personal belief, it's an invasion of privacy and causes the officer to be under stress.
I mean,
I can see that too, but I do think that until we get this police brutality situation under control, I think we need something like that in place.
Look, that thing's never gone away, and it's never going to go away. And technically, there's not a real clear solution to this because if it is
There's
an
really
invasion
not.
of privacy, with body cameras on them, but taking them,
There's,
but not
you gotta
putting
look at it this way,
on.
There's always going to be someone who disagrees with the judicial system and the law system. There's always going to be
That's-
someone who disagrees.
It's subjective.
Yes,
it's like
but
England.
but we're seeing we're seeing some police brutality at some pretty major extents. And I can link you multiple videos. I can link you multiple videos
I don't
of
argue that it is.
blatant police brutality.
I don't argue.
One
that it
example.
is.
One example. All right. This guy got caught jaywalking. All right. You know, jaywalking. And the police just throw themselves on the guy. You know.
Was he black?
Which, yes, he was black. How'd you know?
Don't even start this. Don't even.
Well, I mean, police are the subject, and it does seem that these body cameras do refer to police brutality of African Americans.
Alright,
It does seem to
Putting
be.
the body cameras on is like trying to stop racism, and that's never going to go away. It's just a small
Even if you look at it, that is someone's. That's a right of the people. Think freely. You can't literally take that out of.
It's the
someone's mind.
right. It's the right of the people to hate a specific race or
Yes.
group. It's true. However, it's not your right to harm that specific
Yes,
group.
you can hate it.
Which
is
is it's what these police are doing.
Not necessarily, in my opinion. No.
Look, there is such a thing as going too far with your authority. All right.
I mean, look at it this way. Okay, let's say the black guy was jaywalking. You have the right to go over there and not rough him up or touch him, but
You're allowed to use force.
Look. You're allowed to use force, but jaywalking? Seriously?
now maybe if he was robbing a
never
bank
know.
or beating
What if he had a
something.
weapon?
You never know.
What if he had a weapon?
You never know. He was jaywalking.
So?
I do know
What if he had a
that.
weapon? Anyone can have a weapon.
Well, if he had a weapon, he didn't have a weapon.
How do you know? How do you know?
But what if he did though? Had a concealed one?
How do you
It's
know?
not implausible.
How do you know?
Yeah, but they threw themselves on
What
the
if-
guy.
So? How do you know he didn't have?
They were out
Oh
of
my
line. They could
gosh.
have done more.
Look, man,
investigation.
all you gotta do is tell him, hey, don't walk on that part of the street. Walk on the designated white lines.
Did he abide
Instead,
by
they
that, or did
threw
he
themselves
keep
on the guy.
Did he keep doing it, or did he ignore them, or no?
No, he didn't ignore them. He was too busy being grabbed. He said, get off of me, because they were grabbing him.
Well, first
They
off,
were out of line.
First off, whenever a police officer is telling you something to do, you don't tell the police officer what to do. You do. What
Look,
they
man,
tell
I
you
mean-
to do.
Look. If someone is grabbing me, alright, if someone's grabbing me because I was jaywalking, I'm going to tell them to get the fuck off. I don't care who it is.
Well,
There are grounds for
enjoy
grabbing
prison,
me.
Then. Enjoy prison.
Look, they were unjustified in throwing themselves on him and just wailing him. But, I mean, if they didn't yell for him to stop, then they're unjustified. But if they had set some sort of previous command as to stop or something, then he should have
Look,
stopped.
even if they did, there are steps, okay? Even if they did, there are steps.
All
There
right.
are, and
You
they
know.
still shouldn't have wailed on him.